Hello, and welcome back to our Settlement Survival Let's Play Series, Season 2, Episode 2. I'm Larry, and let's get on with it and have a good old episode. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Life is good. Okay, got a couple things we gotta talk about here. I went ahead and added and paused our Bill Research Institute so we can get our development points. I went ahead and added the school, so when we start getting students, life will be good. I threw in a little bit more housing, so that's going to work out well for us because we want our people to work closer, live and work close, so they're as productive as possible. I went ahead and added the sand pit so we can go ahead and once we get that built, we'll be able to get sand and clay. I still have not built the ferry, but you know, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and hit H here so you can see the other stuff that I went ahead and placed down. And we're going to have more storage for water because we have to have our distillery. If our people can't get drunk, and they get extremely unhappy, and that's a bad thing. But let me show you this, because this is a common mistake people make. And if you notice, we've already received 2 free seeds. We collected our pea seed and we collected our oat seed. Well, unfortunately, am I happy that we received those seeds? Yeah, but it kind of throws a big wrench in the works because, as you know, I wanted to go down the agriculture and hurry up and get our herb knowledge and get our tree farms. But since we only received these 2 seeds, that puts a huge stress on me because we need to make clothes. Well, the only way we can make clothes is if you come over here. If you look at what we can make clothes out of, we need like alpaca fur. So we need an alpaca, which we don't have. Sheep for wool, we don't have. Buffalo or cattle, we don't have. And we don't have cotton seeds. So right now we're in a lot of trouble as far as collecting what we need to make clothes. Now, if you come over here to raw materials, you're going to see beverage materials, textile materials, and raw food materials. If we go to the textile, the only thing our people have collected so far is just reeds. They haven't collected any flax off the ground or anything like that. So, you know, we're in trouble there. So we may run out of clothes. But the other big problem is our spirits. And we don't have the agave tequila seed. And where we've been kind of lucky is our people have managed to collect 236 of these. But that's not going to go very far, and we're going to run out of spirits. And crazy shenanigans are going to start happening on our map. So I now have to change how we're going to play the game because we need fermenting. I have to be able to get beer. And since oats can be milled and then turned into beer, that's what we need to do. And in order to do that, see where it says mining/calcining kiln? Well, go right here. We have to have this. And in order to make this to work, we have to have the refined fuel. So now I have to spend 3 technology points to get our beer production going. So that means the 3 points that I wanted to spend to get us here, I'm not going to be able to. So we're kind of behind an 8 ball because we need the herbs to keep our health up. But if we don't keep our happiness up, then really bad things start to happen. So unfortunately, I have to spend this next point into the refined fuel. and then we have to do the calcining kiln, and then we have to go into the fermenting so we can make our beer production. And that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Oh, and just so you know, I'll go ahead and click on this one first. And if you notice, it's in the red, but it'll still allow me to activate it. I just can't use it. So, it is what it is. Now, it gave me a new building, which is really cool, which is the winery. Now, if you notice, if I plop the winery down and we look at the mats, I don't have what it takes to make glass. So if I built the ferry, I would have to hope that they have glass on it in order for me to build the winery. Well, I've learned in this game, you just don't wish on what the ships bring you. So we have to change our gameplay in order to stay healthy and to survive. And yes, I did get the hunter's cabin being built. I don't know why I paused it, but I did. And now if you notice, I have more housing going in, so people will be happy with that. And so we have this new field that's going to be for our oats, which is fine. And then here, once this is built, I'm going to go ahead and choose our peas for this one. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take one off here and I'm going to add one there, because I know our peas take more people. And I'm not going to put anybody here because I'm now down to 0 people. I don't have enough people for what I want to do. I also went ahead and told them to build the cemetery, but if you notice, I'm starting to run out of stuff. Now it's winter time, and you really don't want to send people too far away because there's a good chance they're going to freeze. So I have to watch out what they're doing. If not, I could wind up killing off my settlers, and that would be no fun. And right now, I don't have a hunter to get an animal. So, we just got a new crop seed. I'm going to pause it and see what we got. I'm really hoping... Okay, we got our flaxseed. So what that means is now we can start growing flax, which will allow us to start making clothes. But the unfortunate part of that is we need to spend our skill points on something like that. And if you come over here, I do believe it's under processing, we have to get into weaving in order to make our cloth, in order to make clothes. But the other problem is I also have to get milling as well, just so I can mill out our oats for our beer. But then if you notice, it says cut stones. So you go over here. I mean, we're behind the 8 ball big time just to make the game happy and so we can survive. So the game is throwing out some big time curveballs in order for us to survive. And this is like, this is not going to be an easy game. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting once we do have a hunter. Matter of fact, let me do this. Where can I sacrifice somebody? I really can't, because we need everybody. Yeah, we're going to have to go without it for right now, but we actually do need an animal. And, geese would be nice because that would give us feathers, but also having other animals would also help. So, because I know we do have buffalo running around on this map, and it would be nice to get leather, because then there'd be less skill points. And right now we have more than enough housing. And, well, okay, see right here, our luxury apartment, our apartment complex is empty. So that's good. So when immigrants show up, we have plenty of room for them. I'm going to go ahead and get the ferry started and go from there. But we're kind of like on autopilot until immigrants arrived, and we're going to be short of people. And I just hope we don't run out of stuff, because it's going to be tough. And now that things are warming up, I don't see any bad events coming. So I'm going to go ahead and have them hoover up a bunch of stuff and try to get our supplies good. And I know this is a bad thing to do with the new disaster system in place, but, we need materials. And, the bad part is, since I don't have any extra people, this is all going to go really slow. I mean, really slow. That's why you want to have extra people, what they call laborers, so they could go out chopping all this stuff down, collecting and all that. And like right now, I don't have stone. So that's a bad thing. And I don't have stone for this. So this is what you do. Go ahead and hit the cancel. Stop them from doing anything. No more collecting. And what we'll go ahead and do is just pick up a pile of stone. So what I'm hoping for is anybody that's not doing anything, they're going to turn around and go get the stone for us. Now, what I could do is, since I have so many people being construction, I can go ahead and cut that down right now to 3 people, and I've just brought up 3 laborers. So now I have people to do what I need done. And that's how you can flex your people around. I don't recommend ever taking people away from your food supply, because that's absolutely critical. But in other parts of your town, it's okay to move people around. Now, like here, I have 297 firewood. I can go ahead and lower this number down to 290. And by doing that, now I know they're going to go and help people out. And by doing that, I don't have to worry about reassigning them back to work. They're just automatically going to go. So when that number drops below 290, they're going to run back and start chopping more firewood. So it's a really nice way to get into this habit of looking at what you possibly will need and moving people around like that. Now, since our stone supply is so low, I'm going to keep on trying to find more stone for them to collect, because I really need to prioritize what we need. And right now our lumber's not doing that great. So we'll see what our numbers look like after they get done harvesting this stuff. And I'll go ahead, and our iron's not the best, so I'm going to go ahead and have them do that. We're going to go ahead and bring up our technology, and we're going to go into mining, and we're going to go ahead and, in fact, I think, should we do mining first, or yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Not too happy about it. I don't like, being hemmed in the corner with what the game has done to us, but it is what it is. If I fight the game, I'm going to lose. And these bars are going to tank, and it's going to be a horrible game for me. And that's not what we want. So Once these are built, then I'm going to get these other buildings built and have them put on pause. But like right now, with the migrants coming, I need to get the police station up and going. Because if I can't banish the sick people, what's going to happen is, say somebody with measles is going to show up. They're going to go see the doc to get treated. And what's going to happen is the doctor and the immigrant are both going to die because we have no way of curing them. So it's just easier to banish the sick immigrant than lose your doctor plus the immigrant. Now, if you notice, thank God I didn't spend those 2 skill points in medical, because I'd be further behind the 8 ball trying to accomplish what I want to get done. So, it's just a different way of playing the game that, you're going to want to consider. And we're going to go ahead and get this one started. And I'm going to tell them to get that one started. And we'll get this one started. And we just have to see what our materials are. Like right now, our clothing is down to 23. We're going to be in trouble. And so I'm going to have to make a choice real soon on what we're going to do. Because once my people run out of clothes, you're going to have naked people running around here during wintertime, and they're going to get upset real quick. So our next skill point, I'm unfortunately am going to have to more than likely go into milling. But I don't have cut stone. So, yeah, I'm in a little bit of trouble here. But it is what it is. There's nothing I can get around or do about it. I just have to live with it. I just wish they wouldn't be so hard on their clothes. But it is what it is. And at least now we do have a cemetery. And that cemetery is going to be temporary. I usually will place a cemetery one up each corner of the map and just recycle them. And, the only pain part is just getting roads up there and getting them to do it. So for right now, I'm just going to keep it kind of close. And I'll just alternate with 2 cemeteries. No big deal. It's one good way of getting around it. And how are we doing? We're still doing kind of horrible on our lumber. And we're back to 0 laborers. So they had to... Well, they're still working, so life is good there. I'll just have to take some more of the lumber and hope to God that we get lucky here. And what I'll do is... we have an event. Let's go ahead and pause it. It's the shooting star. We're going to go ahead. I'm not going to read this because, I'll read it. A light spark glided through the clear night sky. It's a shooting star. It is said that if you make a wish to a shooting star, your wish will come true. What do you wish for? And if I recall, this gives us a proficiency. So I'm going to go ahead and... gave us plum seeds. Woohoo. I didn't need plums. Thank you. For some reason, I was thinking it was going to give us a proficiency point. My bad. And see, I forgot to filter this warehouse. I wasn't paying attention. And so what I need to do right now, since it is getting stupid on me, is I'm going to go ahead and demolish it. Because since this is basically an instant place warehouse, by demolishing it, they're going to send all their stuff over here. And I'm just going to replace this and then filter it for water only. Because I think that's going to be the smart play. And the reason why I put water here is our distillery will take the water from here. And here I'm going to have our oats. And then I'll probably put a mill over here. And that will get us our beer. But unfortunately, I'll have to replace the distillery with a winery to make beer because from what I recall, distilleries only make alcohol. Only make spirits. So that's unfortunate, and life is what it is. I was really hoping that we would collect an agave tequila seed, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. But, what can you do about it? But if you notice, we're doing really well on food. And our water, since they don't have to travel as far, is going really well. Now, it's this being stuck with the immigrants. I don't want to go less than 3 workers for builders. Because I know I'm going to have more building to do. Because I should have a hunter up and running right now. I'm running without a hunter, and that's a bad thing. But I'm going to go for broke here. I am going to take one builder away. And I'm going to get our police station going. So then when the immigrants do arrive, we will be able to banish any sick people. And then I can move them around again. Now, the police station does give a happiness bonus, but only to production buildings. And so I'll get happiness bonuses in like the smithy, the clothing shop, those type of buildings. But the church will give me a bonus, a happiness bonus. Oh, wow. They reduced it down to 20. Wow. I thought it used to be 40. Okay. It is what it is. Because this gives plus 20%, but I know it's for structures only. Now, hopefully our immigrants will come in soon. We have 13 kids, and I do want them to go to school. So we will definitely be putting in a teacher. And we're going to get these fields stocked up with people. And there they are. They're probably going to be like 11 immigrants, maybe 12. I'm thinking 11. Now, oh, the little immigrant icon. Okay, there it is. Go ahead and click on that. You don't have to click on your townspeople. On your town hall anymore. Okay, so we didn't have any sick people come in, so that's good. So that means everybody is going to be available to us. So we're going to go ahead and add our teacher. We're going to get that started. We're going to go ahead and get this started with the agave tequila seeds that we have. I'm going to go ahead and get clay started. What else can we do? We still have 7 people. We have a new technology point, and that means we're going to have to get into I'm going to have to do our cut stone, because that's going to be required for some of our stuff. So we are really close to being able to start making our own spirits. Now, if you notice, we're out of clothing. So yeah, that's going to hurt. And I'm going to go ahead and get this field started. And we're going to go ahead and get our flaxseed started. I will just put 2 people in. I don't think that's going to do us very much good, but it is what it is. And what I'll go ahead and do is, to keep the flax close to us, I'll just separate these two. Did that turn into one? Okay. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll filter this one, and here, let me show you this. We'll turn everything off except for those raw ones, and we'll turn off timber, and the only thing we want is textile material. So then what's going to happen is all this flaxseed will be put into this little warehouse. And on this side, I'm going to go ahead and just keep it set for beverages, which is water and spirits. And that will make them happy, and they won't have to path as far away. Now, another thing I'm going to do is, now that people are going to be living over here, is I'm going to open up these houses right here to allow them to live and work close to each other. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure you reduce your pathing with all your workers as much as possible. Now, I have a new building method that I liked from the previous series, and what I try to do is band the settlement with agriculture, because your agriculture is your most important, and then your animals second, and then your manufacturing third. So I'm going to incorporate that into this build, and hopefully some really cool things will happen. I don't know, but we'll see. We have 5 people. We're running low on several items here, so let's go ahead, and since it still is warm, we're going to go ahead and have them gather as many plants as possible before the weather turns cold. And I don't want them too far away from the settlement, so if the weather does turn cold, they're not going to freeze to death. Now, we're probably going to run out of lumber again, which, this is the frustrating part. And I'm going to go ahead and get our hunter started, and hopefully they will get us something that we like. And even though I don't want to put it here, I'm going to go ahead and open up an area for my first bit of animals. And that's going to be a pasture, and it's going to be 11 by 11. Or, no, you know what? I'm going to do it 10 by 10. And yeah, we're already out of timber, so that's not a good thing. So I'm gonna ask my people to do more and have them collect some timber, and that means I'm gonna have to stop them doing what they're doing, because the timber's far more important. So I'm going to go ahead and hit halt and stop them what they're doing. And we're going to have them chew up some timber and some other stuff. So I'll just have them take this little area right here, and hopefully they can get it done. And merchant ships arrived, but I really can't buy anything, so it's really no big deal. And besides, they really didn't have anything that I wanted, so I'm just going to go ahead and dismiss it. Now, for some reason, they gave us 2 people at the ferry, and I really don't need that. And in fact, I don't need anybody at the ferry right now, so I'm going to take the people out. And they're unhappy because they don't have wood. So now that we have 6 laborers, we just might be able to get what we need. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up this well so we can start getting water placed over here, so these people don't have to go as far. And now, since we're getting flax, I need a way to process it. And since we do have a skill point, then I'm going to go here to processing, and I'm going to go into weaving, because that will allow us to deal with our flax. I'm going to go ahead and activate that. Now, if you notice, every time I get a new skill and all that, you'll see this gold dot, and it tells you that you have new buildings. So if you ever wondered what that was for, that's the reason why. So we have the clothes factory, and we have the clothing shop, but what we want is we want the textile factory. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do this one, because a water wheel is faster and more productive. So I'm going to do this one here. But remember how I told you don't be afraid of destroying things and moving things? Well, we're going to go ahead and we are going to get rid of our tailor workshop. And we're going to move that, and I'm going to set it right here. So then it's close to where we need it to be. And I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I think I like that. I usually will put down a warehouse. See, I'm already kind of flubbing things up here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to do this. I know this would be probably faster and a little bit more efficient, but since we're not made for it, I'm going to go ahead and place the mill, this smaller mill that's kind of horrible in my opinion. I'm going to put that right here. And I'm going to take our clothing shop and put it right there. Because then everybody will be able to be all happy and close to where they work. And it just makes more sense. And I'm going to go ahead and set this one to be destroyed, because since I don't need it now and it's just going to be in the way, why have it occupy space? And the bad thing is since I don't have this skill, let me show it to you real quick, is if something already gets built, if you go here in construction, this recycling skill, you know, usually I get it pretty quickly. And because the recycling skill, when you decide to destroy something, you get the mats back. But since I don't have the recycling skill, everything that it costs to make this, I don't get back. So right now, anything that I destroy, I wind up losing materials on. And that's no good. I'm going to move this up to 300 and just spend all the mats that I have. Since we have 170, you know, that might make them happy. But we really have to worry about the clothing. We really have to worry about the fuel because we're out of timber again. And I'm looking at our disaster bar and nothing's coming up yet. And since it is getting kind of close to winter, I'm hoping that they will hurry up and get this out of the way. Now, things are not getting built as fast as I want because I don't have very many builders. So I'm going to go ahead and add that third builder back, and hopefully things will get built quicker. Now, that's the one problem when you start flexing your people around, is you're going to slow other parts of your settlement down. And that's, you know, you have to take the good with the bad. And unfortunately, that's the bad part. Now, with this ferry not having anybody in there, what I can go ahead and do is, if I decide to put something in this ferry to trade with, I can just throw somebody in there and they'll come collect the stuff, and then I can take them away until the ship shows up. So that's one way of playing it. Now we got another skill point, and let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. Kind of getting overwhelmed of what we need and what we don't need. And we have that. So we don't have the mill yet. And we need, well, no matter what, I'm going to need the mill. So we're going to go ahead and get the mill started and get this unpaused. And I'm going to go ahead and we will set up for another field, which will be oats. And hopefully we can get some of this stuff under control. And I do believe I had it, what, 8x10? And with this, I'm going to go ahead and pause it. But they're going to want to start growing stuff real soon. So we're going to go ahead and go into staple foods, which is our oats. And I will add, oh, I don't have enough people anymore. Bummer. Oh, well. Guess I won't do that. So we'll go ahead and add this field, and hopefully we'll get some people. It's going to be for oats. And with that, we will go ahead and place a mill down. Right next to this one. And get the mill. So then when we get more people, we'll be ready to rock. Like right here. Oh, and when you pre-build stuff, watch out because it'll auto-assign workers. And when it auto-assigns workers, you're like, wait a minute, I had a bunch of people. What happened to them all? Yeah, it's because you're pre-building and it gets to be a little bit of a headache. But whatever you do, do not control your own hiring, because if you do that, the game will drive you absolutely insane of you trying to assign people their workstations. Whatever you do, don't do that. But this is turning into a long episode, and so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this one to where it's at. I didn't mean to go to 38 minutes. I just got so involved in this. And I'll get another episode uploaded today because we're starting to move along and cook along. So why don't you all have a good day? I'm having a good day, and I will talk to you shortly. Bye.